I'm Tom Geiler, and welcome back again to another edition of OCTV. Today we're here in one of our newly refinished guest rooms that's part of the Inn at the Mansion House. And the overall look that we've been trying to go for here with Mansion House staff as well as our consultants is to have a historic feel, historic character for this national historic landmark, but at the same time have modern amenities of a modern inn. So when people enter this room, this is one of our favorite rooms here at the Mansion House, the first thing people notice is this incredible wallpaper. Absolutely nearly floor to ceiling. And this paper here was designed by a man named William Morris. And William Morris was one of the biggest proponents of the arts and crafts movement in Britain, but also around the world. He was a designer, he was an artist, he was an author, and he was also a big proponent of design reform and making sure that people can afford quality and beautiful things in their home. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is the arts and crafts movement? Well, it's not so much a style as it is an approach to making things. And in the late 19th century, when William Morris was promoting these ideas, there was a big reaction to the Industrial Revolution. And specifically that handwork, the craftsperson, was being replaced by the machine. And that workers were not being treated with dignity. They didn't have nice working conditions, they were not paid well, and there was no fulfillment in work. So in response to that, William Morris wants to go back to the handmade. He wants to go back to treating workers with dignity, which was also very important to a United Community Limited at this time. And finally, they want to make sure that beautiful things like these wallpapers can be afforded by all, not just the rich. Now, when Morris was designing wallpapers, he really took inspiration, as did many people in the arts and crafts movement, from the natural environment. He would look out his window from his home in Oxfordshire and notice the different native flora and fauna that was there in Britain, and then make wallpapers like this one, Pimpernel, actually, off of those observations. Now, you might notice these panels here are not true representations of a Pimpernel exactly, but they're more stylized, they're more fanciful in some ways. So as guests are here in the Mansion House and they're having their first cup of coffee in the morning, it's a great place to just study this wallpaper and connect with the natural environment of what William Morris saw, but also can look out the window here and see the amazing gardens and grounds here at the Mansion House. Now, obviously, this is a modern paper that's still available today. But back in the day, this paper here would have been handcrafted. It would have been done with gigantic wooden blocks that were also handcrafted. And then natural dyes would have been used before it was fed into a press and then hand pressed into these amazing papers. They were also widely available. They were sold in Britain through Morris's company, but they were also available worldwide and especially here in America. Now, you might be wondering, wow, so what is the connection between arts and crafts and the Mansion House? Well, actually a lot. The first thing is, as I mentioned, that treating workers with dignity, with clean working spaces and meaningful work, that was something that was very much stressed by the United Community Limited in the early 20th century, right when these papers were becoming in vogue in America. Second thing is that the Central New York area in general was a hotbed of arts and crafts activity. You had architects like Ward Wellington Ward, furniture makers like Gustav Stickley, and potters like Adelaide Elsop Rovno, who were all very active in this region. And the people that were living in and around the Mansion House at the time would have been very familiar with that aesthetic. The next thing is that if you just look around the Mansion House grounds in places like the Vineyard and on Skinner Road, there's many, many, many houses that are done in the arts and crafts movement, especially Pierpont Moyse's house in the Orchard. So check that out next time you're here. However, we just wanted to make sure there's a connection between the outside and the inside with nature, but also with the historic past. So we're invoking that Central New York arts and crafts spirit that was embraced here in Kenwood and Oneida and Sherrill in the early 20th century, while bringing you some modern comforts of a historic inn. So please come visit us as soon as you can. You can stay overnight here in this wonderful guest room, but this isn't the only guest room with amazing wallpaper. There's many others. So if it's not this room, it might be another, but there's some great Morris wallpaper in these rooms. So thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you right here at the Mansion House soon.